Authorities are urging everyone to use caution while driving in order to avoid downed trees and power lines. Well, the storm has caused dozens of accidents and is making driving hazardous throughout central and western Virginia. State transportation officials say the interstate and primary roads in Botetourt County are especially bad, with 2 to 4 inches of snow and ice. Snow tires or chains are required on secondary roads in Botetourt, Craig, Franklin, and Roanoke counties. And just outside of Boone's Mill, both northbound lanes of Route 220 remain closed because of this morning's accident involving a tractor-trailer. Traffic is being diverted to the southbound lanes. Well, the weather has forced several schools to close early today. They include the Carlisle School. It will Lynchburg, the high schools will close at 12 p.m., middle schools at 12:30 p.m., and elementary schools at 1 p.m. Martinsville Christian School will close at 2 p.m. And no night classes for Central Virginia Community College, Jackson River Technical School, and Phillips Business College. In other news, longtime Roanoke City Councilman Jimmy Harvey didn't make the cut in yesterday's Democratic primary, but incumbents John Edwards and Bill White came out on top. Linda Wyatt and newcomer Nelson Harris will also be on the ballot in the upcoming election. Beth Meyer reports on the poor turnout and the candidates' reactions.
Oh well, it's a new day, folks.
The mood at the Democratic candidates' gathering became a bit somber when, after 12 years on City Council, Jimmy Harvey lost his bid for re-election to newcomer Linda Wyatt. The two were seeking the 2-year council term. Harvey has been battling cancer and says he's out of politics for good.
Go home, play with my dog, have a good time, hopefully still work on a hotel project, and just put all this behind me. I'm not going to be coming back for the next election. You know, I'm going home to stay.
John Edwards with 2,900 votes and Bill White with just over 2,500 votes were the biggest winners in the primary. Edwards won wide-based support throughout the city, and incumbent Bill White says they are looking forward to a campaign with new faces.
I was very pleased about that, and I'm looking forward.
Very seriously.
Against future pain every day.
Thanks, Sensodyne.
Trust Sensodyne, the dentist's recommendation for sensitive teeth.
Affordable dentures. We're committed to deliver quality dentures at a price people really can't afford. You can get a complete set for $165. Now, all our dentures are made right here in this office in our own lab from materials certified by the American Dental Association. You can get them the same day if you come in early enough. Just call 1-800-DENTURE for information. New dentures at affordable prices. Now, that really is a good reason to smile.
In New York, 2 Jewish groups are offering a $30,000 reward for the arrest of the lone gunman who killed a Jewish student and injured the settlements in the occupied territories. Boston's third leader, Ryan Harding, is expressing doubt today about joining a new unity group between 2 of Boston's warring factions. Muslim and Torah leaders signed a report yesterday in Washington. They came after 4 days.
Slide up and fall down here, slick as this is. When I walk down here, I figure this is probably something that nobody will ever see again. It's got to be terrible when the apple tree breaks. And the wild cherries broke all to pieces, and now it's beginning to sleet and rain. And there's the old house up there. probably a beautiful winter scene, really. But I'm just a little bit sick of it. I can hear up on Wills Ridge, all along that big mountain, trees are cracking and popping. The whole tree's coming down. You might say, very understandable why the trees are falling. See, they got 500 pounds of ice in them and on them and over top. Let's see, I bet Maggie's looking out the window up there. Yeah, she probably is, but I can't get this thing focused. Oh, it's so hard to hold it out here in the wind. Oh, Lord, I didn't have it on. All that time I've been talking and everything and focusing all over the place, I didn't have the camera on. And I walked down here in all this ice and snow to take this, and I didn't even have it on. I don't believe it. Look across the hill and the camera's getting wet, which is no good for it. Oh my. Listen to them trees. All up there on the mountain, you can hear them popping and cracking. Maybe Maggie's up there in the window. I wouldn't blame her. She hasn't been outside today. She ain't about to come out, and I sure don't blame her. No, I don't believe she's out there. I got on 24 power and I don't see her. Come on, back off. This thing getting froze up. Even the apple tree's breaking down. That shouldn't be. An apple tree never breaks. But this snow, this not snow. Oh no, not snow. This is ice. Ice and sleet is nothing but fine pellets of ice. So, I'm freezing, and the camera's froze up, so this is Video Johnny. Well, I just been up to Floyd town. There's no electricity anywhere up there. Looks like we're the only one got any. And here's Meemaw, she don't care. We got power in my mommy.
Yeah.
We got water, a little bit.
We got one.
What do you think of those trees over there? Isn't that something?
Yeah. They are. Are they breaking? Did you hear any breaking?
Not now, but I did hear them breaking. I can see down in there, though, if I can run this thing up to about 40 power. The tops of these trees down in there, where I just got my wood, they're 19 power. And the tops is all out of them trees. And our big apple tree down there has got one of the biggest limbs out of it. Broke out. That'll ruin it. It's too old for that. Woo! Look at that. Now this is something else. This is probably the only time in my lifetime I'll ever see this again. Went up to Floyd and I couldn't hardly get there. So many trees in the road. All over. Maggie wants me to take a picture of that. Lord, all of them are pretty like that. Well, how do you get them close up? Well, there's about an inch of ice on everything. And it's supposed to like freeze up all night tonight. Not supposed to stop until tomorrow sometime, which will be Thursday. Can't believe this. You hear the generator running down there. Whew, I gotta cut this thing off. It can't last out here. How about that driftwood Maggie called? Ah, boy. I'm going back in the house. I better get a close-up at that. I may never get the chance again. Maggie's so afraid that tree's gonna foul up there. I don't think it will because it's laying on the ground. All three stalks of it. That's a cluster birch. I don't think it'll do anything but 4 or 5 times this year it did that. Anyhow, this old John saying over and out.
This is News 7 at 6. I'm Keith Humphrey. The governor has declared a state of emergency as another major winter storm hits the Commonwealth. 46,000 customers are without power in the Roanoke division alone, and that includes an area from here to North Carolina. The ice has caused major traffic problems as trees and power lines clog the highways. In Henry County, some people might not have water by the morning. Beth Meyer is in Franklin County tonight. She says it's pretty scary out there.
You're right. It's treacherous and it's scary. I think one of the scariest things we found walking around today was all the power lines broken and just dangling in the air, and many of those lines were live. Sleet and freezing rain left many people in the Henry County area without phone service, power, and the threat of no water. Trees falling under the weight of the ice have blocked roads and knocked down power lines.
We've got trees that are breaking, limbs are breaking, trees. We've got a telephone correction, a light pole that crossed the road. The lines are laying on the truck right now.
This is not an uncommon sight during this storm in Henry County. Traffic is backed up at least 2 miles on 220 in both directions. The problem is downed live power lines. It seems as soon as they fix one, another one falls.
I just watched them come down on top of me, and I've been holding them up ever since.
APCO says its repair crews are out in force and will work around the clock until everyone has power.
We have already asked for crews from outside of our area, outside of the state. It always takes them a while to get here.
Repair crews are working at the largest water plant serving the Henry County area where power is out. Customers are urged to conserve water, or officials say the water tanks will run dry soon. That, of course, would mean that there would be no water for fire or other emergencies. Henry County has set up a shelter at the Bassett Church of the Brethren tonight. They asked if you're going to come to please eat before you come. Now, there are a lot of folks out there that would really like to know what's happening with the storm. Robin's in the studio, where I might add it's very warm and very dry.
It is indeed, Beth. I'm wondering, I'm looking outside. It looks like it's pretty windy down there at the moment. Have the winds picked up?
Yeah, the winds have picked up a lot since 5 o'clock. And I don't know if you can see behind me here, but there is a major tree that's broken off not too long ago in 3 places. And they're snapping everywhere, so it's not a good place to be outside tonight.
Okay, be safe out there on the roads, Beth. What we've got coming up is a situation where the winter storm has kind of locked everything down. Let me show you where the advisories and watches and warnings are in effect for the state. Now, if you were to go from Martinsville westward and northward, you'd be in the winter weather advisory. That is for the continuation of ice tonight
Winter storm warnings from about Rockbridge County northward for the continuation of snow. More than a foot has fallen in Harrisonburg so far today. Over in West Virginia, it's a matter of winter storm warnings, except for flood watches down over the southwest. Also parts of the Muir Valley also under a flood watch. This problem is going to continue during the overnight hours. It's going to be Friday before we really start clearing out much. Keith?
Okay. Thanks, Robin. The winter storm has dumped a foot of snow in northern Shenandoah Valley and shows no sign of letting up anytime soon. Joe DeShiel reports tonight from Winchester, where he's been covering the capital murder trial of Billy Lane. Joe?
Keith, it's been snowing steadily here since yesterday morning, and as you can see behind me, it is starting to pile up now. The storm picked up strength early this afternoon, depositing about an inch of snow every hour. Interstate 81 and many secondary roads were blocked for a time, and the forecasts are calling for more of the same for the next 24 hours. The weather did delay testimony in Billy Lane's capital murder case, and the jury was sent home early, but not before the jurors heard from a jailhouse informant who claims Billy Lane confessed to the crime. Raymond Hampton was jailed with Billy Lane for about 3 weeks last fall. In conversations, he says, Billy Lane admitted abducting, raping, and murdering Phaedra Carter. But Lane's attorneys dismissed his testimony, noting that Hampton has a lengthy rap sheet and pending charges in both Rockbridge and Augusta counties.
Mr. Hampton's a piece of work.
Often include a sexual element to the case.
Joe, it's been a rough week for you overall, and we appreciate your work. The truck driver who was shot this weekend at the Lancer truck stop in Montgomery County has died. Royal Memorial Hospital says Timothy Rule of Pennsylvania died today. He'd been wounded immediately following a shooting Saturday night in which a clerk was killed. Authorities said Rule acted as a good Samaritan trying to apprehend the suspect. The gunman, E.L. Goodwin, later fatally shot himself. As the weather continues to get worse, we have several cancellations and notices for you. No night classes tonight at Central Virginia Community College, Dabney Lancaster Community College. On and off campus classes are canceled. Dominion Business School, Jackson River Tech School, Hollins College, the New River Community College, Patrick Henry Community College. Classes will resume tomorrow at 10 a.m. Phillips Business College, Radford University, all classes after 5 o'clock are canceled. Virginia Western with...
Today we lost all the stuff in our refrigerator. We had to throw it all out. So.
And now your power's out again?
Yes, it is. And just waiting to see. We had it up till about 1 o'clock, I guess.
Besides creating dangerous situations, the outages are getting expensive for many businesses. Pargo's restaurant in Christiansburg has watched the same line go down 3 times in 10 days.
Everything else can be operating around here, but because our line is down, it destroys our business. And it's becoming a very costly experience.
The day the lion yields to the lamb can't come soon enough. Tracy Altizer, News 7.
And more often than not, the roar of chainsaws penetrated the wet mountain air of Patrick County today. The weight of the frozen precipitation brought down countless tree limbs, keeping this Patrick County farmer busy.
Get out right here. And I got some more trees on the fence right up here.
Residents in both Patrick and Floyd counties have been subject to widespread power outages. A set of major power lines went down this afternoon in the town of Floyd, closing traffic completely on Route 221. The emotional issue of permitting families of murder victims to witness the killer's execution provided high drama in the state Senate today. Richard Riel has that story from Richmond.
The debate turned bizarre on the Senate floor. If the state's going to allow...
1994 is behind us.
Good evening. Our top story tonight is the weather and the problems it's causing. The governor has now declared a state of emergency, and as many as 190,000 Virginians are without power tonight.
Bill Beck has been tracking the storm all night, and he joins us now live with the latest. Bill?
That's right. Well, at the moment, in downtown Roanoke, at least, the snow has stopped, but that is only temporarily. We are expecting to see this continuing. There's a winter weather advisory for the rest of tonight, covering just about the entire Channel 10 viewing area. Snow predominantly, southern parts of the viewing area, sleet and freezing rain will be mixing in as well. The only places not covered are right around the immediate Danville area, also around the South Boston vicinity. Here's what it's been looking like on radar, and this has just been fascinating to watch from a meteorological standpoint. Look at the rotation right there. That means that the upper level storm is actually right over us, which is why it was snowing so hard there for a couple of hours. But you can notice that little gap showing up right there, and to be honest, it might be Tinker Mountain and Reed Mountain playing a role in this, as this precipitation has been backing up from the northeast, moving toward the southwest. But you can see that entire rotation will bring more snow back into the Roanoke area. It's snowing also in northern parts of Franklin County. The southern periphery there around Danville and Martinsville is a mixture of rain, freezing rain, and sleet, and it's also snow as you head up to the north. Some folks have reported thunder snow. It has been a very fascinating night. I'll have more details on that coming up in the main weather segment in about 10 minutes.
And a lot to talk about concerning the snow before we get through tonight, including Bill's details. Andrew Colton, our reporter, had hoped to join us live in person tonight, but we've had trouble because our equipment up on top of Tinker Mountain is, Four Mountain, I'm sorry, is all frozen, but we will be talking to Andrew here.
Yes, we will, via telephone tonight. It seems the media is not even immune to Mother Nature's wrath tonight. Can you hear us all right, Andrew?
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Go ahead.
All right. The situation out here, as you're just saying, it's so bad that we're not able to feed our video back out of Pulaski, out of Montgomery County, actually, where we are right now. Roads are getting bad, though, and what we've been seeing all night out here are roads covering up with ice and with snow, and then the ice is covering our power lines, and it's creating massive power outages here. Now, I know you guys are going to be talking about the power outages in just a few minutes, but from what I can tell you tonight, we spent a number of hours with the Pulaski crews out here from APCO, that there are thousands, tens of thousands of people without power, and the situation is so bad that yet again, crews are being called in from West Virginia, from Kentucky, from Tennessee, from all over the area. Hundreds of crews are out tonight trying to restore power throughout the area. Now, we don't advise that you go out tonight. If you did, you would see, of course, trees down all over the place, ice-covered roads, people slipping and sliding everywhere. But again, the best advice right now is just to stay inside. As you guys just said, communications are really bad. That's why we're on the phone right now. But tomorrow morning, we'll have this video for you of just how bad it is out here. And again, the best advice is just stay inside. Johnny Kelly.
Thank you. Andrew Colton joining us live via telephone tonight. Obviously, there's some serious water problems, too. He was in Pulaski County earlier today where the situation there is very critical. People are being urged to use as little water as possible in Pulaski and in several regions.
Yeah, we've got more detailed information on that as well. But as we mentioned, the numbers of homes without power are considerable, 190,000 across the state. But here in the Channel 10 viewing area, let's take a look at the way APCO has broken it up for us tonight. In the Pulaski division tonight, that's where Andrew Colton is, and we just heard from him, 29,686 people without power tonight. Now that breaks out county by county. Within the Pulaski division, in Pulaski itself, that's about 9,000 people, and in the Montgomery Floyd area, that's 12,455 people. These numbers are not on your screen, just a little background information. And in Wythe and Bland County, it's over 5,000 people. Now, let's take a look here at the Lynchburg division, 18,500. That is our 6 o'clock number. We've been unable to get an updated number from Lynchburg as of 11 o'clock tonight. In the Roanoke division, that is your current figure, 45,436 homes without power. In the Roanoke Valley, out of that number, it's about 9,000. In Franklin County, it's about 16,000. And in Fielddale, which essentially is Henry County, out of their office, that's 11,000. In Stewart County, kind of an unbelievable number there. They only have 9,000 customers, and 8,800 are without power. So that's a specific breakdown tonight as we have it on the areas without power in the Channel 10 viewing area.
Well, there is some good news tonight. APCO officials in the New River Valley say they have a better handle on things since the last ice storm. In just the past 2 weeks, a new computer tracking center has been installed which accesses APCO's billing system. Now that makes it much easier to identify the location of a customer who has no power by giving a specific address on the screen immediately. That in turn should help line crews get to the scene more quickly.
Just mentioned, Stuart, at one point today, all of those 9,000 customers in Stuart were without power, and it's more of the same in Franklin County. The office in Rocky Mount serves 20,000 customers, and as you said, 16,000 without power, about 3,000 of those in Rocky Mount, which is where these pictures come from. Several people have described the Rocky Mount area as a war zone because of all the downed trees and power lines they took with them. Cars had to proceed with caution to get under the wires, and you can see in this tree, in fact, was over one of the on-ramps to Route 220 tonight. So it is rather interesting out there. Well, because of all the power outages, many people are without heat tonight, so many communities have established shelters, and here is the list as we have it for you at this hour. In Alta Vista, the shelter is at Alta Vista High School that opened at 4:30. In Henry County, the shelter is at the Henry County Administration Building. In Pennsylvania County, it's at Chatham High School. At Pulaski County, the shelter is at the Salvation Army at 525 Commerce Street. And I believe we have one more, yes, in Franklin County at the National Guard Armory in Rocky Mount. Now, also, the power outages left numerous communities without water treatment plants. The pumps have gone down, and so water conservation measures are required in Pulaski County, in Dublin, and in the town of Pulaski specifically, and also to the south of Roanoke in Collinsville, Stanleytown, and Bassett. And they don't think those pumps will be operating until sometime tomorrow, and specifically we're told that Collinsville will be out of water unless people are very careful. So no washing machines and no dishwashers on our list tonight. They're saying please don't use those items unless you have to. Callie?
As expected, the list of school closings for tomorrow has grown considerably since our 6 o'clock newscast. So here is your Channel 10 School Watch report as of 11 o'clock. Closed tomorrow, Amherst County Schools, Appomattox County, Bath, Bedford, and Bland counties all closed tomorrow. Also Botetourt County, Campbell, Covington City, Craig County, and Floyd County schools. Franklin County closed tomorrow, Galax City, Giles County, Grayson County, and Henry County schools closed tomorrow, in Highland County, Lexington City, Martinsville, the city of Martinsville, Nelson County, and Patrick County. Pulaski County closed tomorrow, Rockbridge County schools as well, along with Smith, Wythe, and the Carlisle School. And the Community Christian Academy is closed tomorrow, along with the Faith Christian Preschool, Gateway Christian, and Dabney S. Lancaster Community College. Dominion Business School in Stanton is closed tomorrow. Ferrum College, all offices are closed.
Where between 4 and 8 inches of snow and sleet are expected. For the Northeast, it's the 15th storm of this winter.
I was thinking of it a long time ago. Well, what can we do?
In Boston and coastal New England, wind is the major concern. A high tide this afternoon and high winds could cause more beach erosion. Boston is due to get 4 to 8 inches of snow. And down in Chatham and Cape Cod, the winds are going at a steady 30 miles an hour, although it's mixing with snow and sleet. A high tide is due there this afternoon, and people down there are quite worried about that. Matt?
All right, Fred, thanks very much. The storm may have been a factor in a frightening mishap at New York City's LaGuardia Airport. A Denver-bound jetliner failed to gain enough speed to take off and skidded off the end of the runway. Robert Hager is standing by live at LaGuardia this morning with the latest. Robert?
Good morning, Matt. Well, it was a very close call. That is the plane out there right now. And as it was rolling down the runway for takeoff last night, nearly fully loaded with passengers, the pilot suddenly realized he didn't have enough speed for takeoff and he was running out of runway. He tried to abort, but it was too late. The plane skidded off the end of the runway. Here's what it looked like last night.
The plane came to rest over a small berm or dike just at the edge of Flushing Bay. The nose pitched down, frighteningly close to the water. The tail angled high into the air. An inflatable slide used for emergency evacuation dangled from the plane. An ugly gash at the top of the passenger cabin, where the fuselage came perilously close to splitting open. 110 passengers and the crew of 6 all escaped, but 29 of the passengers were treated for injuries. Others had harrowing stories.
Then it got bumpy and got dark, and we bounced all over the place.
The roof caved in, up about 5 rows ahead of me, right where the TV is. The TV just came down, and people just started freaking out.
The incident occurred in blowing snow. A passenger said the plane had been de-iced twice.
But ice on the wing should not have been a factor because that only comes into play if the plane gets airborne. Apparently this one never got airborne. Instead, investigators will be looking at such things as the condition of the runways, the slush. Could that have slowed the plane, or was there some other reason why this plane couldn't get up to speed? Matt?
Robert Hager at New York's LaGuardia Airport, as you can tell, in miserable conditions. The fragile truce in Sarajevo has come close to being destroyed in the chatter of gunfire and the shock of explosions. The shots were fired near a Jewish cemetery in downtown Sarajevo when Serbs fired grenades at government troops and then the troops fired back. Gaza and the West Bank remain turbulent nearly a week after the massacre at a mosque in Hebron. To try to end the turmoil
I'm inside the garage looking out the